what's going on, everybody? We're here, we're alive. Today's going to be a very, very quick live stream. I'm not going to be here long at all. I was debating back and forth whether or not to even do this live stream. I had it on my mind to do it for a while now concerning just Faison love only, you know. But then I thought to myself, nah, forget about it. I'll just stick with like the regular political stuff and whatnot. But it's been just really crazy though the past couple of days, or really the past couple of weeks, maybe last week and a half, ever since the report came out concerning the, was it California Reparations Task Force, and putting out that dollar figure of, I believe it was around what, $235,000, like per Black American descendant of slave in California would receive reparations, like if it was going to be cash payments, right? um it's just been amazing to sit back and watch how many people are just kind of randomly coming out of the woodwork to be against reparations. Now, you see Larry Elder on your screen right now, right? Uh that's not surprising, right? Like I'm definitely not doing this stream because I'm surprised at what Larry Elder has to say. I just kind of have him up here as a placer, just kind of to get things started. But like I said, I'm not going to be here long at all. I just wanted to talk. This isn't going to be like a normal video where I'm breaking things down. I'm just talking right now. You know, you can look at this as an extension of just talking with TD and Rob, but just TD by itself on the main channel. Um, Obviously there's whatever foolishness that Larry Elder is talking about. I'll read it to you very quickly, and then we'll move on to the other people that you saw on your thumbnail. Larry Elder says reparations will exacerbate tensions between blacks and non-black reparations payers, while doing zero to solve the number one problem in the black community: a toxic, self-defeating, angry, victorcrat black culture resulting from the absence of a father married to a mother in the home. I mean, whatever. That sounds cool, but like I said, Larry Elder, that's expected of him, right? To be against reparations. But outside of Larry Elder, like I said, ever since that report came out by the California Reparations Task Force, it just seems as if so many people are coming out of nowhere to discourage the conversation, right? To try to throw a monkey wrench in it in any way, shape, form, or fashion that they can, you know. And a lot of it comes out of selfishness too, you know, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, you know, but you know, and then there's a lot of self-hate going on as well. A lot of self-hate going on. So I want to start with Umar, right? Because like I said, I actually need to get through this relatively quickly. Many of you are already familiar with the Umar Johnson Breakfast Club interview, and you're familiar with what he was saying concerning reparations. You know, I want to address some of the stuff that he said. First off, he said cash payments is a trap. Anytime you hear any type of conversations surrounding reparations, it always involves direct cash payments. Always. You will never hear any serious conversation about reparations that does not involve direct cash payments. I did a video, what was it? I think it was maybe at the top of this week, maybe sometime last week, where Joe Biden is going to be paying out climate reparations to poor nations who are suffering from bad weather. And in those climate reparations, even they will be receiving, poor nations will be receiving direct cash payments. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Black Americans, cash payments is a trap. Now it's a trap. Now it's something that, you know, you should avoid, and you should be running from. But I want to address like just 3 points that Umar said, right? Because I don't want to ramble too much. I want to wrap this up really quickly. Umar said, well, you know, one of the reasons that it's a trap is because essentially it's all going to go back to the white man, right? You know, we don't have, or Black Americans don't have infrastructure. There's no infrastructure for you to put it into. Okay, how are you going to build infrastructure when you don't have the money to do it, right? That's just basic common logic. How are you going to build infrastructure and create infrastructure when you don't have the money to begin with? When the trajectory, economically speaking, of Black Americans is literally zero by 2053, how are you building infrastructure to prepare for reparations? Umar Johnson has literally been collecting money for his school since I think 2009, if I'm not mistaken. I believe 2009, right? That's how long we've been collecting money. And there's still no school. And it's not a knock against Umar, right? But it just goes to show that, hey, uh, infrastructure building isn't as easy as you thought it would be. And it's not as simple as you thought it would be, especially when you've been collecting money for a school for 13 years and you don't have a school to show for it yet. So how are you building infrastructure with no money? That doesn't make logical sense. You need the money to do that. That's just a fact, right? And even when you're talking about infrastructure building, how long does that take? A year, 2 years? When you're talking about infrastructure building for, quote, the Black community as a whole, at large, you're talking about something that takes generations upon generations to build and create, if not centuries. So at this point that's fantastical. What he's even talking about, because let's just say it's a couple generations down the line, 2 generations. We'll just say that's fantastical, but yeah, 2 generations. You build an infrastructure for the quote Black community across America in 2 generations. However, Black America was able to do that, given the fact that we don't got no money, right? To do a feat that tall, to accomplish a feat that tall, that fast, you know. Um, by that time, you're so far removed from anything concerning reparations by way of not just slavery, but civil rights. In 2 generations, all the civil rights folks would be dead, right? And by 2 generations, Black Americans will be fourth on the population list. So what reparations do you think you're going to get in 2 generations from now? Once you've built this infrastructure, it's honestly, it's just nonsensical. It's nonsensical. Because the reality is that you can't build infrastructure if you don't have the money to do it anyways, right? What's the other thing that he said? He started saying a lot of other fantastical, silly things, like, before Black Americans get reparations, we need to have an infrastructure. And one of the things that we need to have concerning infrastructure is that we need all Black music to go back to Black people. How does all Black music go back to Black people? It just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. He also said all Black inventions need to go back to Black people. How? How are all Black inventions going to go back to Black people? Where's the evidence of all Black music going back to Black people and all Black inventions going back to Black people? Where's the evidence that supports that that's even possible, let alone that's ever even happened? Have you ever heard of all Hispanic music going back to Hispanic people? That doesn't make sense, right? And this is what I was talking about earlier, concerning a lot of the naysayers and people speaking out against reparations. A lot of it comes out of like selfishness and ego, right? In the case of Umar Johnson, let's just be honest. He doesn't like people who categorize themselves as FBA or ADOS. He doesn't like people like Tariq Nasheed. He doesn't like people like Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. If you identify with any of those acronyms, he does not like you. So the majority of the things that he says when he's speaking out against reparations, in all honesty, is just out of spite, to be a jerk, and it's all about triggering you. It's just about being an a-hole. That's what it's really about. Plain and simple. I'm just being a jerk. I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff to be a jerk, just to be against you. That's selfishness. And that's ego, standing in the way of what could potentially benefit the people that you're supposed to care so much about, right? Now, let's move over real quick to the next man on the list. Because like I said, I people have just been popping up like crazy. I've had this on my mind to do this, live stream, but like I said, I told myself, no, I'll just stick with my usual stuff. But like every time I turn on, my laptop now, or I go on social media, it's just something new. Now, here's this guy, Wall Street Trapper. He got a lot of people upset recently because Wall Street Trapper said this: how we really want reparations. He's spelling them like broken English or whatever. Give me a second. How we really want reparations when in reality is when what? How we really want reparations when in reality is when we get income tax, when you get PPP loans, we just bought a lot of designer jewelry. That's that self-hate. Where's the evidence for that? Where's the evidence that when Black Americans get their income tax, that what they do with it is buy designer clothes and jewelry, and that they don't handle any type of business? Where's the evidence that supports that? He goes on to say, the masses not ready for that. Until we heal from financial trauma, generational wealth is an illusion, big trap. So once again, this is this notion that reparations in the form of cash payments, like Umar said, is a big trap. Everything that he stated just now concerning when Black Americans, if they get reparations, they're just going to buy designer and jewelry. That's based on self-hate. And let me just break that down really quickly, okay? Just really fast. Wall Street Trapper is from the quote streets. Okay, that's where he's from, the streets. Hence his name, Wall Street Trapper. Right. Let's have a realistic breakdown of this gentleman. He's from the streets. He's a street guy. Okay, a real ninja, I guess. All right. This is a man who comes from a degenerate environment, raised by a degenerate family, growing up around a bunch of degenerate individuals that he referred to as his friends. His whole life, all he's been exposed to is degenerate behavior. And he's taken that degenerate behavior that he's experienced all throughout his life, and he's placed that on the Black community as a whole. This is why individuals like him really have no business speaking. Because all they do, and I see this all the time, particularly from like, quote, not people that are from the hood or from bad environments or degenerate environments. It's a specific type, like the Wall Street Trapper, who like really like embraces the whole moniker of I'm a street dude and I'm a real dude and I'm a real brother from the streets, right? It's that I was really out there. I was really in the field. I was really banging. It's a very specific type. It's not just the brother that's from a bad environment or comes from that environment. It's a very specific type, like Wall Street Trapper. Those who are out there conducting themselves in a degenerate fashion, bringing harm to their own community, trapping in the streets, right? Selling drugs to their own community, participating in the downfall of their own community. They then take that, and there's a lot of people like Wall Street Trapper, and he probably won't admit this. They take the money that they made illegally and then flip it into something legit, and then turn around, recreate themselves on social media as investment gurus, and now they're trying to sell you classes. But they don't tell you that the initial startup money came from participating in degenerate behavior in the streets, right? They don't give you that part of the story. And this is another example too of selfishness. What he really wants you to do is just buy his courses. Just buy his courses. Buy his investment courses. Buy my products. Selfishness is where so much of this comes out of. It's not even funny how much of the anti-reparations talking points and the naysayers and the monkey wrench throwers and all that kind of stuff that want to just jump in the way of it. It's amazing how much of it truly derives out of selfishness. Forget about reparations. You need to heal your financial trauma. And you know how you're going to do that? Get the Wall Street Trapper's products. Buy his courses. That's how you're going to do it. The brother is selfish, and it's a shame. And I can say the same thing lastly in closing about Faison Love. Thank you very much, Vincent Harper. I see that you showed support via super chat. And also, I was going to say Trey the Truth. I don't know why I keep always wanting to call the brother the Truth. Jay the Informant as well. Jay the Informant sent super chat as well. The support for the channel is always appreciated and needed. And I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate the support. It doesn't go unnoticed. Now, lastly is Faison Love, right? Let's get back to selfishness. Faison Love, as many of you may know, he was asked on Vlad, about the $235,000 per Black American descendant of slavery that could possibly go to Black Americans here in California if reparations were to pass. And mind you, what's amazing about all this is nothing is even set in stone concerning reparations, right? quick side note. There's nothing set in stone. There's nothing when it comes to the reparations California task force, right? And everything surrounding that. Everybody knows how much I'm in support of it, right? I've had individuals that are associated with it, like Camila Moore and the good brother Chris, I believe his last name is Lodgson. I've had them on, numerous times on the channel, and I will always have them on to anytime they want to, to discuss or clear up the air concerning anything regarding the California Reparations Task Force and reparations in California. So I don't want anybody to get things twisted when I say what I'm going to say. But there's nothing set in stone, right? Until it's official, it's not official, period. So there's nothing to be excited about. There's nothing to be happy about. There's anything to talk about in any type of excitement or glee when it comes to the $223,000 figure that was put out by the California Reparations Task Force. It was just an estimate, a figure. That's it, based on a study. My point is that none of this is official until it's official. But just the thought that it could possibly be official at some point, maybe, right? Just the fact that that's the case, all of a sudden everybody's coming out throwing monkey wrenches in the way and trying to fumble the bag for everybody else, right? A bag that you don't even know whether or not it's coming. But Faison love, right? Vlad asked Faison, about the $223,000, right, per Black American descendant of slavery, right? That's the estimated figure in California. Before Vlad could even finish his statement, Faison Love immediately says, "F no," right? It's a trap. Here we go again with the "it's a trap" thing. He said, "All Black folks gonna do is buy Cadillacs. That's all y'all gonna do." In California, all the descendants of American slavery are going to do is buy Cadillacs with that money. That's what you're going to do, right? Once again, self-hate and projection. That's what you would do. That's probably what he's done. That's probably what the degenerate individuals that surround him and have surrounded him throughout his life, that's what they've done. And they take the degeneracy that they've been exposed throughout their life, and they place it on everybody else. Black folks, y'all just gonna buy Cadillacs, pounds of weed, pounds of the loud, Black American, y'all gonna bring spinners back and everything. Yeah, they're gonna get the reparations and bring spinners back. Black folks gonna bring spinners back. Y'all gonna bring back platinum chains. Y'all gonna bring platinum chains back, iced out. Y'all, Black folks gonna bring back throwback jerseys, the Mitchell and Ness. We going all the way back to early 2000s with it. Back when I was in high school, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. We bring Black Americans get reparations. They bringing back the quadruple XL white tees with the baggy pants. I mean, if you let Faison tell it, that's what's gonna happen, right? Yeah, FUBU coming back. I see you. Expose the frauds. Black folks gonna bring back FUBU. Oh man, if you let Faison tell it. If you let Faison tell it, bro, I'm bringing back FUBU and all that. It's crazy. If you let him tell it, but it's projection. That's what he would do, and that's what he's accustomed to the people around him doing. You know what I'm saying? They gonna bring back Carl Kanai. I mean, come on, man. I gotta get out of here because now I'm just clowning, right? But if you really listen to what he said, right, once he made that statement that is, F that, all Black folks gonna do is buy Cadillacs and foolishness like that, he rounded it out by saying what we need is to be tax exempt, right? He said and when he's saying he's talking about the descendants of American slavery, right? He's saying what we need, in his words, is to be tax exempt. No, that's what Faison needs, and that's what he would like. I'm not going to front on him and say silly stuff like, "Oh, Faison is broken. He looked dusty." I'm pretty sure Faison has, a nice bank account, and I'm pretty sure that Faison Love still makes, a good amount of money out here doing whatever it is that he's doing concerning comedy and little shows and whatever, right? I'm pretty sure he does well for himself. And going back to the selfishness, what he would like is to be tax exempt, right? What he would like is to be tax exempt. He got his money already. He don't need reparations. But what he wants is to be tax exempt. So he takes what he wants and he puts it on the group and says, nah, F cash payments, F a $223,000 reparations payment. We need to be tax exempt. This is the same thing as when I believe it was like a year or two ago, Nick Cannon was asked about reparations. And he said, no, we don't need cash payments. What we need is land. That's selfishness. What he would like is land. What he wants is land. That's what he would like. And that's what he wants because he already has his money. Could you imagine you all, descendants of American slavery, getting your reparations in land only, in land? If you don't have no money, how are you going to build on the land? You see how it doesn't even make sense? But all this stuff comes out of selfishness. It's just selfishness. It's and it's really amazing to sit back and see and to sit back and watch. And honestly, very disheartening. Honestly, personally, it's very disheartening to see just the thought of reparations possibly being a real thing in California. The thought, because like I said, nothing is official until it's official. But just the thought of it being official, all of a sudden you see all these brothers hopping up out the woodworks, throwing out all types of crazy stereotypes of how y'all gonna bring FUBU and Carl Kanai back and Mitchell and Ness jerseys and platinum chains and spinners, and y'all just gonna buy Cadillacs and you don't got no infrastructure. And first we got to get black music to black people. And then after we get black music to black people, then we have to get black inventions back to black people. And then once we do that, then we got to build infrastructure. And once we do that, we got to build a rocket to take us straight to the moon and all this other silly stuff. Anyways, now I'm just going off on a random rambling tangent. So we'll just shut it off here. We'll just shut it off here. Like I said, today's live stream wasn't about nothing much. I really just needed to get this off my chest because it's just I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted at how many people are making it their business to come out against reparations or to frustrate the conversation at just the thought of it happening. Not it actually happening, just the thought of it. Anyways, with all that being said, that does it for today's video. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That way you'll get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video, but that also serves as a protection plan for myself. So in case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe, I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure you join the emailing list. The link to the emailing list will be in the description box below, and I will also pin it in the description box a little bit later when I have a moment to. Understand there's no way I can go independent of YouTube. And I actually have something planned as far as going independent of YouTube. I've been saying that for a long time. Just rock with me. I'm going to have something up and going in about a month. So that's going to be a very real thing. And once again, there's no way I can go independent of YouTube if I can't take the audience with me. So please make sure you join the text service and please make sure you join the emailing list as well. And for all of you who have shown support to the channel and to this live stream today, thank you very much. I see Kamo A. I hope I'm saying your name right. Kamo. Thank you for your support. Don't forget, was it? I can't. Gerbert Jeans. We bringing back everything. Y'all gonna bring back what was it? Apple? Is it apple bottom jeans? What was that Nelly had? Apple bottom jeans. This is crazy. The stereotypes are wild. Anyways, I'll holler at you guys later, man. Peace.